Welcome to the Weekly Pleb. My name is Douglas Rieger, and I'm your host. My guest this week is my good friend, Olivia.
Hi, guys. Yes, thankfully. Yes. I finished all my finals. I rushed them in on what was it, Monday night? Yeah, Monday night. I was like, I just want to be done.
Yeah, I get that. I finished today, and I'm...
Oh, did you?
Very happy. Yeah, my last one. Yeah. So, do you have any summer plans?
I'm taking 2 classes over the summer. It was going to be 3. Now it's 2. Working, that's about it.
Where do you work?
So I work at my dad's gym, Performance Lab. Just in case you're wondering, little merch. And then I coach club volleyball, so I might do some of those mini camps with them.
Okay, club volleyball where?
It's called Zona Volleyball Club. But yeah, because there's only a few different clubs, but that's the club that I played for. So.
How old are the kids you're working with?
Right now, the kids that I'm coaching are 14, so they're in 8th grade. But the camps, I think, are a variety of the little guys that are still in elementary, and then they also have the camps for 6th, 7th, 8th graders, and I know there's some camps for high schoolers as well, but I don't want to deal with the high schoolers, so I'll probably stick to the little kids or the middle schoolers.
So you prefer the elementary kids to high schoolers?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be worried of the snot on balls and stuff.
Well, okay, yes. I have had some horror experiences with that, but the high school kids, we're just too close in age where I think it's weird for them knowing that I'm a little bit older than them trying to coach them. So.
Yeah. And then high school boys.
Yeah, that's also not very fun. But there's not that many boys that go to those camps because they have their own club, APV. So they usually go to those and have open gyms and stuff, which I've thought about coaching the boys because you can kind of yell at them more and it's a little more, I don't know, they're more competitive. I think it's more fun in terms of the coaching aspect, but I don't know if I could deal with high school boys.
So they segregate the women and men for...
Yeah, in terms of clubs and camps and stuff for the most part. I think there's a few younger boys that are at the camps that I've seen, but they segregate them in the sense of by the time they hit 8th grade, their freshman year, they're going to hurt the other little girls there.
Okay.
So
yeah, fair enough. So how did you first get into volleyball?
So I started doing developmental camps and stuff like that when I was 8 or so. My dad also coached at Zona, so he was still coaching when I was doing developmental camps. And my grandpa played pro volleyball. So it's kind of a family thing that I got pushed into. And then I started playing club competitively when I was 12. That's when that starts. I know for Phoenix teams, they start, I think, sooner, honestly. And then I played club until I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you stop?
I got burnt out. By the time I was 15, I got really burnt out. And by the time you're 15, 16, it becomes not only really competitive, but that's where you start to get recruited. And I finished it out till my senior year. But I lost my love for the sport. So I didn't want to play college ball. I know they changed the rules in terms of NCAA when they can, recruit, talk to you.
Start grooming you.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to put it. But they can, watch you play. They'll catch wind of, certain players at different clubs. And there's also an app that the recruiters use to, rank you. And it's a whole big ordeal. And they just will walk around with their iPad. And so it's a collective scoring thing where coaches will kind of chime in their 2 cents and then...
I love my new iPad. It does a ton of cool things. Doesn't quite fit in the jar, but I can take care of that. I knew I could get the iPad in a BlendTec Total Blender.
So it's kind of like basketball or football.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how that works, but they can't talk to you. I think now they've changed it to halfway through your junior year. There's a specific date, but they can't talk to you until your junior year of high school now. But when I was playing, I had club teammates that signed to go play our sophomore year. Wow. So, yeah.
It just seems early for me.
Yeah, it's just a big commitment to make in terms of where you're gonna go study and what you're gonna do, and you're kind of trapped in that. So.
Yeah. Do you think that college athletes are treated more as students or as athletes?
My personal opinion, I think it even starts in high school. You're treated as an athlete. I think if you're really that good and you're that competitive and you have kind of the means to do so, even when I was playing, and yes, like I was playing competitive ball and I was traveling to do that, you miss so much school. And granted, like for me, like my high school didn't excuse any of that, but yeah, you're basically treated as an athlete and the student part comes second, and nothing really changes in college. You still miss a lot of school, and then you have tutors that help you, and your main job is to be an athlete.
Yeah. So is that one of the big reasons that you didn't want to do it in college?
Well,
it was just like more of a volleyball focus and you wanted to be able to explore.
Yeah, like I wanted to be my own person. That was a big thing. Also, a lot of the schools that I talked to, I would have to move pretty far, and no schools for the position I was playing were willing to give me enough money to kind of get me there where I felt comfortable paying out-of-state tuition. And then a lot of schools actually didn't have the major that I wanted. A lot of them didn't even have good business schools, so that was something I really wasn't willing to give up.
Yeah.
But it's just very hard, and I think for volleyball specifically, I think it's very belittling the way they recruit, and it's a very interesting process in comparison to other sports.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the sport for sure, and if it's men's or women's, but they're not willing to give you enough for what you're sacrificing. Yeah. You're sacrificing your body, your time, whether it's to school, friends, the money that you end up paying for what they don't cover in terms of where you're living, food, all these different things that it's too much to sacrifice unless you really, really love it.
Yeah. And even if they cover like full tuition, you might be getting a degree that doesn't really do much, right?
Yeah.
Like basket weaving. So you said that when you were looking for schools or shopping for schools, that some of them didn't have the major you wanted.
Yeah.
Did you know you wanted to do economics when you were in high school?
Well, I knew I wanted to do something business related. My family owns a lot of businesses, but I didn't know I specifically wanted to do economics. Originally, I was thinking more like marketing, entrepreneurship, that kind of thing. But yeah, economics kind of just found me, and I was like, I love it. This is something I want to do. There's not a lot of women in it. It's definitely very challenging, to say the least. And it's not something a lot of women can say that they majored in. Yeah. So that's kind of also why I wanted to do it.
Was there any particular reason that you fell in love with economics? Or I fell in love might be a strong...
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. I think what really caught my attention was it's something that not a lot of people know about. Like a lot of people don't know the ins and the outs of it, and it's scary. It's something you participate in every day. You do anything, it has to do with our economics. And when people don't know about it, it like scares me. I'm like, what are you doing with like your hard-earned money?
Do you know what scares me even more? Is the way that economists can take data and say blank is happening because of this. Yeah. Right? And most people don't understand it. They're like, oh, sure, yeah, I guess that's happening.
Yeah, and then like also the numbers scare them. They see these large numbers or whatever the case may be, and they're like, we're all gonna die. Yeah. Like, no, like that's not what's happening. That's a little dramatic, but it's because they don't understand. And then there's that level of like language they use in academia that no one understands, and it's like really hard for like your average day person to like understand without being like an econ major.
It definitely feels like that's on purpose.
Oh,
right? The convoluted terms and stuff, especially with finance. You think of the finance bros that make it on Wall Street.
Yeah,
of course they want everyone to think, oh, it's too hard. I don't know how to do that.
You could never do this.
Yeah, if frat boys can go to Wall Street, then anybody can do it.
Literally.
You mentioned there's not a lot of women in economics. No. Have you noticed that just in class or?
Yeah, in class you look around and I mean there's not a lot of women just in general, but even at some of the like events that Eller hosts for there was one recently that Tashani had gone to, and there were 2 econ majors out of everyone that was there. It was her and Marion, I think. So there was 2 of them out of like the hundreds of Eller kids.
Every other Eller kid was a different major.
Yeah.
So then every econ major that was there was a woman.
Yes, which was nice. But there was only 2 of them. Yeah. And it's like crazy that I feel like the econ department is really small, let alone there's like little to no women. Yeah. And it amazes me.
It seems like at the U of A, at least, they have like several incentives to try and get more people to do econ, right? Yeah. I know like a few of my friends that ended up doing econ just because that was like the last effort. That was like the last thing they could get into, right? Yeah. And I was kind of in the same boat, but it was happenstance because I actually liked econ and I knew I wanted to do it. So the GPA just matched, right? But yeah. Do you have any idea of what you might do with the degree?
I don't know. I know when I was talking to my advisor, a lot of people will go into like law. That's not for me. I don't know about you. Yeah. But probably like financial consulting and advising. That's probably where I'll end up going. Yeah. But honestly, I'm just kind of
free balling it.
Yeah, going day by day, like letting it vibe and.
Yeah, I thought for the longest time I wanted to be a lawyer because everybody would always tell me I was great at arguing.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess they would probably like that. I make a lot of money, right?
Yeah, but then you think about like the bar exam and all these things that you're paying an immense amount of money to not even guarantee that you'll pass the bar. That's horrifying.
Or get like a above average paying law job,
and then all of the things that come with being a lawyer, like all of the terrible things you might know about your client and you're trying to get them to go free, like that's horrifying.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends. You could do a law that doesn't involve like
that is true.
Scary things like that. Where
that is true.
You're like,
but if you want to make the big bucks, that is what you would be doing. Okay,
that's fair. Well, you could work for corporations. Right? Well, that's
almost
worse.
Just as worse.
That's almost worse.
Almost just as worse.
Yeah, because they could be committing even worse crimes.
Yeah, that they really don't want out there.
So, but I decided similarly that it wasn't for me, and it's too expensive, too much work.
I already lost hair in undergrad. At LA. Like, there's no way I could do like 8 more years.
Yeah. Do you think you would consider like a master's in econ?
Yeah, I have been considering it. Because talking to Shawnee, like, I might get like a better feel on how it is. I've heard that it's all micro-based, which is horrifying. Yeah. But honestly, in order for you to like really secure like a good job, you kind of need the master's now, which is unfortunate. Only because I would be willing to suffer through the year-long program. Yeah. But it's expensive.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's only a year, right?
It's $40,000 for the year.
Yeah, but it could be like law school, right?
You know what? That is very true. Yeah.
The biggest reason I almost did law, though, I almost went to Germany because in Germany you can skip undergrad.
No way.
Go straight to law school, get your law degree license in 3 years, and be practicing law. Yeah, but there's a catch. You'd be stuck in Germany practicing law.
Yeah, that is true.
You can't really transfer over the law knowledge, right? Yeah. And I didn't really want to do that and get stuck in Germany.
You didn't want to be stuck in Germany?
Yeah.
No?
I love Germany, right?
Have you been?
I was born in Germany.
What?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Right there, that's Germany on the table.
What?
Yeah. But I learned German at the same time as I learned English.
Okay.
And then lost it all because dumb American parents.
Yeah, you obviously weren't using it anymore here.
Yeah. And like no schools ever offered German that I went to. I started taking it in college though.
Yeah, I was gonna say the U of A offers it, but I mean, it's almost like you starting from like ground zero though.
Kind of, but and I started 101.
Yeah.
But I was definitely better than everyone else in the class. And like it helped that I had the accent from the get-go. Yeah. You know, because like that was an easy one to remember and come back. But the grammar rules and everything else is...
Oh, God.
Yeah. I just finished 4th semester German. With a B.
Yay!
Yeah. That's pretty good. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like, you're fluent again.
Yeah, basically. He was pretty lenient, but that doesn't matter. We don't worry about that.
No.
So you said there's a minority of women in econ. Do you think that there's still a minority of women in business in general?
Yeah, I do. I think... we kind of see like a good mix at Eller. I think Eller's overall trying to be better about that. But I think it's very discouraging for a lot of women to come into a place of study or work where it's predominantly men and white men at that. And I feel like some people just aren't very welcoming, and I think women are very used to being like that emotional support for everyone, and they're like, oh, well, like, if me succeeding makes you uncomfortable, I'll just leave, kind of thing. I feel like that's how a lot of women are, just from, like, experience of what I've seen. But then there's some women in Eller that really thrive, and they do amazing, and they're a part of all these, like, crazy things. Like, my freshman year, being a part of Elite, one of the leaders that was, like, mentoring me, she already had a job lined up at Budweiser.
Wow.
And then this other girl who is in Elite, she had a job lined up at Goldman Sachs. Yeah. So there's some women that, like, really succeed and do really well, but I feel like them getting in the door is very intimidating.
Yeah. I just feel like with the way the world is headed, it seems like in the world of business, they're looking for women.
Yeah, they're really advocating for it. I just think, like, women are scared to even enter, like, STEM. That's a huge thing. That's been an issue. I think it's kind of the same thing with business, not in the sense of, like, you know, it's math based and it's hard and they're scared. It's more so they're intimidated by other men. And then I think a lot of women are, like, off put by men they've met in, you know, their 9-to-5 job, or, you know, whatever the case may be, where they're like, I don't want to deal with that. Or
never in my life would I have ever thought that I was going to get a math degree.
Yeah, that's literally what econ is. Which is, like, when you tell people that, it's like fancy math almost. They're like, what?
It's like business math.
It's like business math.
Money math. The amount of people that have told me, like, oh, economics doesn't mean anything.
It's easy. And you're like, have you seen this math? No.
Just completely predicting the way the world is going to react to things. Yeah, that's pretty hard. So what is Elite? You mentioned.
Yeah, so, I don't even remember what that whole acronym stands for. But basically, freshman year, it's a program only for freshmen, and they invite you and they recruit you. So it's supposed to be, from my understanding, like the top, like, freshmen in Eller. And they, like, go out of their way to recruit you, kind of thing. And you go through, like, the interview process, whatever. And then you're put into select teams and you're mentored by Elite alumni, and you do different, like, almost like case competitions and stuff like that. And then we did some volunteer work, and they go over how to do your resume, all that kind of stuff, so you get a head start on it. But
so they pick out the smart kids and give them even more help.
I mean, I guess from what I heard, it's one of those things where if you're in Elite, this is what I heard from an upperclassman who was not very happy that I was in Elite at the time. But he was saying people that are in Elite, like, basically get an automatic admissions in Eller, which obviously isn't true, but it might be one of those. It probably helps. It's one of those things they see that you're, like, involved as a freshman. So. But
I mean, they probably picked out people that were doing really well, right?
That's supposedly how they did it. I have no idea.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I wasn't actually hating. I was just...
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But speaking of women achieving things in Eller, I saw you may have won an award or two. What was that about?
So it was top 50 collegiate women within Eller. That was actually a really fun experience, and they had, like, a little ceremony for it, and they had some Eller alumni come in and talk about what they were doing. And one of the women, she had opened a business during COVID, and I guess that took off. It was actually a pretty cool app. I wish I remember the name of it, but you, like, download it and it gives you different, like, adventures to go on, since we were in quarantine, and that, like, took off, and she was doing great with that. So we got to talk to Eller alumni. But I don't think that had anything to do with involvement in Eller. I think it was more so, like, GPA and, like, how many clubs are you in? Like, are you spreading yourself thin enough for us to call you, like, top 50?
Are you killing yourself?
Like, are you slaving away to our program enough?
So you said it was top 50?
Yeah.
Did they, like, go down the list and tell you, like, what place you were in the top 50?
Oh my god, no, I should have asked. I should have been like, where am I? No, but they did, like, call everyone's name and give us, like, the certificate and, like, the pendant and all that fun stuff. So
that's very cool.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, well, I guess you could put it that way. I mean, it was, like, a fun experience, but it was one of those things that think it was more so just like women that are like heavily involved and like slaving away to LR and giving their everything.
Hey, but that'll probably be worth it on the resume, you know?
Yeah,
Top
probably.
50 women from this school? That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good, right? Well, have you looked at like you said you're looking at financial consulting type work?
Yeah.
Investment banking type stuff? Yeah. I'm looking at similar stuff. Have you looked anywhere? Too deep or no?
No.
Don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I don't want to like actually adult yet. Yeah. But no, I think, well, because I was going to graduate early, like a semester early, but then I was like, I don't want to actually like adult, like for reals.
Yeah.
But
I'll take the full 4 years.
Yeah, like I'll take the full 4 years. I don't want to do that to myself. But no, one of my friend's dads, he works at a bank and he finances a bunch of homes. And so he was like, hey, if like you want an internship or you just kind of want to see what we do, like I'd love to have you kind of thing. So I might just do that just to see what they have going on there. But other than that, just letting it vibe on the side.
Yeah. Internship's another good resume builder.
Yeah, that is true.
I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
But I got other work.
Yeah, you don't need to have an internship to get a job. I that's the one thing I don't like that LR is like super big on. Is like you need an internship like your sophomore, junior. You don't need to do anything.
So this performance lab, where is it?
It's downtown, right behind Autobahn and Rocks and Ropes, so on Tool. I don't know. I don't think Autobahn's even open anymore, but yeah. It's
COVID killed it?
I think so. That's what I heard. I don't know. I mean, I drive by it every day.
It seems pretty socially distanced, and you got like a helmet on.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know.
I guess
maybe
sharing the helmets.
Yeah, maybe people just didn't want to do that during COVID. I don't know.
Yeah. Economics, right?
Yeah.
People decided not to. Okay. Well, I work down the street.
No way.
Right at Hi-Fi.
I did not know that.
You know that turn that you take right off
I didn't know you worked at Hi-Fi.
Yeah. So I like turn there and then go right behind that parking garage there. Yeah. I'm a cook.
No way.
Yeah.
I love that. Do you enjoy it or are you just doing it to like make a quick buck?
I enjoy it.
Okay.
Like I could have gotten another internship for like more pay.
Yeah.
But it was cleaning out old and recycled electronics and reselling them on eBay.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
oh, fun. Like, and that sounded horrible.
Yeah.
And I've cooked in kitchens before, and the kitchen environment, especially as a cook, is like, it can be a lot of fun. You know, you're shooting the shit back there.
That is true.
Whatever they don't pay you, you make up in free food. Right.
That is true. Yeah.
When did your dad make or start Performance Lab?
So he opened, I want to say it was my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was, oh God, it was quite a few years ago. I feel like old now.
Shut up.
Yeah, so they've been open for a little bit, yeah, because I want to say it was my freshman year of high school.
Is that when you like started lifting?
No, I started lifting before that because my dad's been a trainer since like I was a kid. Originally, he went to culinary school, did that. Wasn't for him just because here it's a very seasonal thing and they don't pay you what they should for the like back-breaking labor that you're doing.
Yep.
And so then he got all of his certifications to do all that fun stuff. But he was an independent contractor at different gyms, so he was able to do like his own thing. And then he just wanted to open his own place that was bigger, and then he wanted people to be independent contractors under him, so they still had like their freedom to do, you know, whatever.
So he's got like independent trainers that come in and work.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So he doesn't have to pay them properly because they're contractors.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. But no, they all kind of chip in and like clean the gym, do their like fair share because that's, you know, where they train their clients. And but yeah.
So did you really get into it with volleyball, or is it just because of your dad?
It was just because of my dad.
Yeah, okay.
That was something that he had me doing by the time I was in like 6th or 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I just kept going, and then obviously when he opened his own place, then we were there, like me and my club teammates, we were training there before practice, so we'd train for an hour and then we'd go to club practice, and then our club had like their own conditioning, and then we'd go home, and that was on repeat forever. So
do you ever get tired of it?
Oh yeah. I was burnt out. After I stopped playing club volleyball, I think for about a year, like my entire freshman year of college, I did not work out once.
Okay.
Because I was so burnt out. And then when COVID hit, I had nothing better to do. Yeah. And I just needed something to do where I wasn't like looking at a screen. And so then I kind of got back into working out, and that's been like my new thing.
Yeah. Sounds like my freshman year. I also didn't work out.
Yeah.
I was on campus like less than a mile from the rec.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like, I don't know.
The rec is intimidating though.
How so?
Well, I personally, not that. I personally think because a lot of, at least when I was going into the rec, it was a lot of like the football players for whatever reason were using the rec instead of their own facility that they had, which I don't understand.
And we probably paid for the facility. Right?
We did, yeah. And they were like using the platforms to like Olympic weightlift, and like I didn't want to like wait, and then there's always that like judgment and like them watching you being like the only female like on the platform. So I was like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So.
And then at your dad's gym, you can say, "Hey, get off! It's my dad's gym."
No, absolutely, I can just kick everyone out.
What talking points would you give to get people to go get a membership?
Oh my gosh. Well, it depends on the person.
Okay.
But I think there's a lot of things that we have to offer that a lot of gyms don't. It's the space itself in terms of how large it is. Because it used to be a warehouse for, I don't know what they were storing there. Because there's the brewery next door. Okay. So it's like a warehouse type thing with like 40-foot ceilings. The turf itself for you to run on is rather large, which I know a lot of gyms don't have that. So we use that a lot. And then a lot of the trainers are certified to teach Olympic weightlifting. So I know that a lot of gyms don't have that unless they're CrossFit, and CrossFit can be very intimidating to a lot of people that are like just starting. And Olympic weightlifting is something that's not like super big here, but it's big in Phoenix. So a lot of the guys that train at like my dad's gym will go compete in Phoenix. So I think that's something they have to offer. They have classes, they have a bunch of different stuff. So it depends on the person I'm talking to.
Yeah. But isn't CrossFit like really expensive?
I don't know if it's expensive necessarily. CrossFit's just like not my jam, because I personally think that's like the easiest way to hurt yourself. You could say the same with Olympic weightlifting. I think CrossFit is a lot less about technique and like how much weight can you throw up, versus Olympic weightlifting is like you have to have that technique under your belt to throw X amount of weight.
Yeah, so I just see the CrossFitters doing pull-ups, and it's like...
No, yeah, and
it's like the really quick stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, you do your thing. I could never. My arms could never.
Yeah.
But I just...
Well, it doesn't even seem like a real, like, pull-up.
Well, and that's like the big debate about CrossFit is like, exactly. Is it even a real sport? I mean, I think it is kind of thing where it's like, you would never catch me doing that, just like you would never catch me running a marathon. Yeah. But I just think it's a very easy way to hurt yourself.
I don't know if I wouldn't call it a sport. I mean, another kind of working out, right? They have the CrossFit
Games.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever watched those? They're insane.
I have seen that. They have like the field, right?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
all the weights all over it.
It's crazy to watch. Yeah. And I don't know if their rules are as strict as Olympic weightlifting and some other things in terms of like juicing. I have no idea. I'm not, but like you watch some of them and you're like,
you haven't given juicing a shot yet.
Oh God. Well, there's a huge science behind it. You have to do it in a very specific way to where you're not just constantly pumping yourself full of X amount of steroids, and you have to come down a certain way, and it's expensive, and you have to find the right one.
Yeah, if you just stop, you like deflate, don't you?
That, and it causes you a lot of like hormonal issues down the road, and that's why you see, there's a lot of bad stuff that comes from juicing if you don't do it right. Yeah. I'm not saying to do it, but... There's a lot of consequences.
Gotcha. Yeah. If you are gonna do it,
you better do
your research.
Yeah, do your homework.
It's horrible.
I'm like, I don't encourage juicing. No,
Performance Labs does not. Yeah, when I've seen videos from Performance Lab, it looks huge. Like it looks just spaced out.
It's a huge warehouse. Like I said, I don't know what they were using it for, because they even have like the bay doors that like open all the way for the trucks and stuff. I don't know what it was used for before. Yeah.
And you said, does your dad have any other businesses?
So my family does that like partially are owned by like my dad, my aunt, and my uncle. We have a bunch of like property and restaurants, but not here. So
family of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Which is why you were thinking entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it. But the program at the U of A, like through Eller, is just very they don't time it right. Like once they like give you the information and stuff, because it's a huge thing where if you're already in Eller, you have to double major or minor in it, and it's like this whole huge thing. Because I got into the program after I interviewed and stuff, but they were saying that I would have to take all these extra classes, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be there longer than I have to.
Olivia, thank you for coming on.
It was
great talking to you. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, comment down below why you're upset with Olivia or me.